Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the Hangout is live, and apologies for taking a little bit longer than normal. I had massive computer problems. I've changed computers 3 times, but like changing my underwear on a Saturday morning. But it is, that's probably a bad metaphor leading into tonight's Hangout. Sorry about that, lads. It's Monday, December the 18th, and this is our last Hangout Swiss Gold Global Australia. For a couple of weeks. We're going to have a break for our holidays. But I've twisted the arm of our owner, Bill Rowell, who it's 1:05 in the morning in Los Angeles. He's been over there for a little while, and he's got some business happening over there. He might be able to give us a little bit of a heads up about, but it's fantastic to have you on the call, Bill, at 1 a.m. Now, Claudia is supposed to be coming on as well. She's probably slept in on German time. She likes to sleep in. We got Paul Weeks in the Gold Coast. So there's just 3 blokes at the moment, and hopefully our number one presidential affiliate, Claudia, will be on very shortly. So it's a big welcome to everyone. I know there's a lot watching. I've had to turn my other screen up to save a bit of power. So if there's any comments, I might be able to do it on my phone. Actually, I'll log in via my phone and see if there's anything going on. So what a year we've had, 2017, for Swiss Gold Global, but also for our gold and silver. It's been a little bit steady in the growth there. I know Bill's got in the company hundreds of thousands of customers, and they're very, very happy with their gold and silver that they've stored for as it says, building. I'll just move that up so we get Swiss Gold Global. Generational wealth. And in the last year, it's 13 months now, Bill, that been involved in the cryptocurrency mining, and it's been a really, to say a smooth ride would be the wrong statement. It's been a sort of a exciting, bumpy up and down ride, and full of surprises and gains, and unbelievable expectations have been overcome. And then the world's woken up all of a sudden. I got that feeling right towards the end of this year, the last 6 months of the year. The world has woken up to cryptocurrency and especially mining. So our partnership with Genesis Mining is the one thing I really want to touch on as our last hangout before the end of the year, is that the relationship you've built with Genesis Mining, the biggest mining company outside of China. They, as you told us, correct me if I'm wrong, they've done $1 billion in turnover in the last 12 months. 100 million prior to that. Their business has galloped away by 10 times, and it's just so exciting. So all we can do now is look forward to 2018 as being a spectacular year if you're involved in Swiss Gold Global. So without any further ado, 1 a.m. in the morning, I'll cut straight to you, Bill. How are you, mate? How's things going over there in the US of A?
G'day, Keithy. G'day, Paul. Great to be on the call, and welcome to everyone joining us from different parts of the world. And it's great to be here in the US. At least it's warmer here in this part of the US than what it is in Germany or in Switzerland right now. So I'm enjoying that part. Well, I got to say, Keith, you're one man that can twist a person's arm to get me here at 1 a.m. in the morning. And what I'm saying there, Paul, is we had a call earlier on, and Keithy is pretty damn, he's a powerful guy. He wouldn't let me go. So I said, okay, I will be here. Not a problem for you there, of course, in the team. So it's all good. It's all good. Now, it's been an exciting, very, very exciting last 12 months. Lots of unexpected changes. I mean, this is the way it is in a disruptive technology, isn't it? I mean, we get many unexpected things popping up in front of us. Most importantly, we want to deliver to our members. And we're in a disruptive early stages of this cryptocurrency, and as more people become, let's say, adopting and understanding of what cryptocurrency is about, of course, more people are going to come and use this protocol, which creates more demand. Now, a week ago, as in last Sunday, the Chicago Board of Options Exchange in America started trading Bitcoin for the very first time. And that's the largest options exchange, futures exchange in the world. That's a pretty major thing, actually. So people hear that saying this is a scam, that's a scam. What is Bitcoin? Well, when you have the largest options exchange in the world using it and trading it, there's positives and negatives for that, of course, as all things. It's really a stamp of approval, what we have here at our fingertips in that respect. And it's going to, and I think this is what's been driving a lot of the price as well. We're having institutional money coming for the very first time into this particular sector. And this is why we're seeing the price up where we're seeing it possibly where it is. And the thing is about options and futures trading, you can trade the market both ways. They never have to, these people never have to own a Bitcoin, but they can trade it short, they can trade it long, just like they do in the gold and silver markets. No physical product actually ever has to exchange, but they can actually trade it. They can bet on which way it's going to move, up or down in one respect. So there's positives and negatives for that. But on the good side is it's really putting out the news to the world that Bitcoin is the real deal. It is a real deal. It's a commodity in that sense, and it's being traded. If you switch over to Switzerland, of course, and in Switzerland you can actually pay your taxes in some states with Bitcoin. Some other countries of the world, they still have the red flag up regarding this because they don't have the understanding regarding the protocol. I mean, Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer payment system. The underlying technology, the blockchain, is entirely ingenious. I mean, it's a permissionless concept where we can transact within each other through a decentralized, proven platform. This is revolutionary. It's going to change. It is, and it will continue to change the world. But not many people still know about it. I mean, I've been using Uber quite a bit here in the US. And I jumped into Uber on Friday night. You go out to have some dinner, and the young man there, sharp young guy, works for Tesla during the day as a salesman, driving his Uber car at night. Unfortunately, it wasn't a Tesla, to pick up a few extra bob. But he didn't know, he had no idea about cryptocurrency. And he's a man probably 25, 26 years of age, has family commitments at home, trying to earn some extra money. And when I told him what we do, and of course, you know, the possible returns that you could get, he was very intrigued. But I said, you've got to go and do your due diligence and do your homework and understand what you're getting engaged with first. But the market is untouched, really. And I think you were telling me earlier on, Keithy, that you also did something in the last week, and you really believe the ratio is probably 2 and 10, probably have heard something about it. And even then, they may not have a deep understanding about it. So I congratulate all of our members, you know, as we going into the end of 2017, for having the courage to move into this disruptive technology. I mean, that's really, really, really important to have the courage to step in, do it in a balanced view, and learn about it, earn from it, share it, and you're really going to benefit. And 2018 is going to be setting up for a fantastic year. I mean, business is people. Business isn't buildings, business isn't a name, business is actually people, face-to-face doing business, and it's building trust, it's building relationship. Unfortunately, over the last, you know, really over the last 18 months, we've really built a strong relationship with Genesis Mining and then with us as well. And it's really proven to be, when you look, you know, they've honored us, they've really honored us and our members by providing our members with Bitcoin mining contracts, Ethereum, Zcash, etc., when they actually do not make them available on their own website. I mean, that is a huge thing. I do not take that for granted. I have my utmost gratitude to the founders and the team at Genesis Mining to be able to do that for us, because they could have just turned us off and said, you know what, our reserves are getting too low. We're going to turn you off, Swiss Gold Global, and screw your members. We're going to look after our guys first. They didn't do that. They didn't do that. So, you know, it's a powerful thing. So they're very, very pleased with what we do. They're very pleased with our integrity. They're very pleased that we have gold and silver behind there as well. They believe in diversification. And so to me, this year has been a huge year in building relationship, building trust with that. Then you've got payment gateways and all these other things that go along with it, of course. But the biggest thing with the demand sector of it's a bit like hotels. And as many of you people know, I come from the hotel industry. I own 4 hotels over 20 years in Australia. And you might just have a few staff on one day, and all of a sudden you get 5 buses pull up out the front. Totally unexpected. Well, selling Bitcoin contracts is a bit like that. You know, you just don't know in the next 5 minutes or the next 24 hours or the next week how much of contracts you're going to sell. And of course, we forward sell this, the idea of building, you know, commissioning a new mine in Sweden, which is going to be at the end of February, the middle of March for the current contract. So there's a lot to do. There's many variables at play, but of course we can only sell so much because we can only, there is a lag time in building these mining farms. I mean, we're talking about tens upon tens of millions of dollars of investment required here to actually do this, and you've got many variables. One is you've got the jurisdiction variables in that particular area. You've got the land areas, you've got the constant supply, cheap supply of electricity. Then you've got the mining rigs. I mean, mining rigs are in huge demand. Everybody wants these. If you can have a mining rig, if this was a mining rig, and you buy that, you plug it in, and it costs you X, Y, Z in dollars to buy, and you're getting a 3-time or 4-time return on that particular thing, you can imagine demand on that. It's like printing money, isn't it? So getting your hands on the rigs is also, is a huge thing. And this is where it really comes back to the relationship with Genesis Mining. These guys, I just love working with them. I was there with Claudia. I think she did a video actually. Also with a guy from the US. We actually went into Munich and met with them a couple of weeks ago. So, they're really first market movers in this space. They're probably the largest, certainly the largest in altcoin, certainly the largest in Bitcoin outside of China, and they have a Rolls-Royce operation. You walk into their mining farm, it's totally, you can eat off the floor. They can monitor tens of thousands of machines from a handheld monitor. If something goes down, they know exactly where they are. They are sharp operators. So we're blessed in that sense to be able to work with the best. And that's why, really, when you're looking at buying a contract, there's probably a couple of things that you look at. One is certainly you look at the contract price compared to other contract prices, if there's any out there at the moment. The second thing you probably look at, or you should look at, is really the maintenance fee. Because when you buy a Bitcoin mining contract, these actual third-party calculators are giving you an estimated payout, gross payout. Well, you also have to have the maintenance fee. Now, what is the maintenance fee? The maintenance fee is the cost of mining, because it costs, each Bitcoin costs, they estimate it costs between $1,000 and maybe $1,500 or $1,500 US dollars to mine for one Bitcoin. So that's just for the Bitcoin. Then you've got administration costs and everything else. I'm just talking electricity there. So it's pretty substantial, the costs associated with mining with Bitcoins. So the maintenance fee has all these costs factored in there. So if you have a 10 terahash mining contract, it's estimating it's going to pay you about 3x, quite significant return. You would then have to, on your daily payout estimation, you'd have to multiply 10 by the $2.80, which is 28 cents per terahash. Deduct it off your daily payout, and that's going to give you an accurate estimation. And Genesis are fantastic because just the knowledge and their operation. I think on the maintenance fees, they'd have to be 20, 25 to 30% cheaper than any other company out there. Most companies don't even promote what the maintenance fee is. They don't share that. And I've had calls of companies contacting me, and they don't really. If you ask them, okay, because they make these claims, we pay out more than Genesis, we pay out more than what Swiss Gold Global does, et cetera, but none of them can back up the numbers, and none of them have actually produced any numbers to me. So I can tell you right now that we sell the contracts of Genesis Mining exactly the same price that Genesis Mining sells them for, and it's paid out on the blockchain. We don't hold on to your coins and different things. So 2018 is going to be the big focus is on building the new mining farms, getting them finished. And we're working, and Genesis is working, keeping us informed with that. There's lots of other things we have on the table, but I really can't speak about right now. That's why I'm in the US. Very, very, very exciting, of course, for 2018. But there's always a lag time because there's time for contractual, and because we're right now on the bridge of Christmas and then the new year, we lose a good month then alone. Just in that, so it's probably going to be the later part of January before we get back down to the nitty-gritty, face-to-face, eyeball to eyeball, to sign off some stuff, wrestle in the ring until we get the deal done. And then, of course, there's going to be a lag time after that. But next year, we're bringing lots of things to the table, which is going to be benefiting our members and, of course, our affiliate members in particular, which is great. But it's certainly not going to be the first. I wouldn't say it's going to be. I'd say it's going to be the second quarter. That's what we're targeting for. So it's pretty exciting. So I congratulate all of you who've been involved with us, having the trust, having the vision, supporting us, and of course all of our leaders out there, such as yourself, there, Keithy, Paul, Claudia, who's not here, who does amazing work. She does not stop 24/7. She probably worked until 4 a.m. this morning, and she's probably getting a few Z's at this. What time is it now in Germany? 20 past 10 in the morning or something. But I think people who know that work with her, she works tirelessly around the world, supporting multiple groups in multiple languages, which is really incredible, actually.
Absolutely, mate. That's everyone, I think, gets the feeling that we've had an enormous 2017, and what you touched on, what you can touch on is. What you can't touch on is probably more exciting about the opportunities coming up in 2018, and the mere fact that you personally get approached by other organisations to say, oh, we know you with Genesis Mining, and how about our product, and do you want to promote our product, and then you ask them for their details of what they're actually producing, and they can't. That underscores the relationship you have with Genesis Mining, you and Claudia, Germany and Switzerland, where you live. You're right on the doorstep there. You have a almost knock over the fence type arrangement of living next door to each other, which with $1 billion company, our members, this particular hangout, I hope you're sharing this. So if you're watching this now, just click the share link and put it on your timeline and say we're live now. Listen to the owner of Swiss Gold Global, because this information is priceless. Not as much as, the information itself is worth, but to your business to understand, and when you can explain to people that the company you've joined, Swiss Gold Global, even as a free member or affiliate, doesn't really matter. Our relationship with $1 billion company, that puts us in an absolutely brilliant position. So I just want to jump to Paul and say g'day, because and quickly, I know you've been with me in the business for, I think we're 7 or 8 months now, which is not a long time. I was saying to Bill before that it's not even a year yet. It feels a lot longer, but it's been exciting. How's your year gone, Paul? Can you let us know how it's gone?
Well, since we met Bill in June, it's been a real roller coaster. Like we've learned about hash power, and we've learned about mining, and we've learned about Genesis Mining, and Bill has really kept us excited about our journey as we've been going along, and telling people all about these other new ways that they can earn money from contracts and all this type of thing. So it's been a real learning curve for us as well. So, and we'll continue to do it into 2018, and it's just been fantastic having Bill and Claudia keeping us informed every week, as I look forward to every Monday night, and when they do come on, and the other guests that we get, and we share it amongst our members and share it out to new people. So certainly 2018 is going to be super.
No question about that, Paul. It's always good to get your input, because you've got a quite large team, and it's fair to say that your members of your team are slightly older than the 20s to 30s to 40 age group. They're a little bit older golfers like yourself, on the electrical caddies, buggies going around. But I guess our responsibility is to not only show people the opportunity we have for part-time passive income, and our favourite word, Bill, is to do nothing once we get our contracts, but also educate people on exactly what you said, Paul, hash power. And what we do is we buy computer power, and then we have the choice of how we get paid returns in that computer power, either in Bitcoin. I choose to be paid in Bitcoin. Even my Ethereum contracts, my Dash, my Zcash contracts, and my Monero contracts, I get paid in Bitcoin. But down the track, you can diversify and get paid in different currencies, cryptocurrencies, which is fantastic. So the knowledge we have to pass on slowly but surely to people. And Bill mentioned I did a bit of an experiment yesterday. I went to a local market, which has about 4,000 to 5,000 people come through the market on a Sunday. It starts at 6 in the morning, goes till 12. And there was people there at 6 o'clock buying fruit. Couldn't believe it. I was still in bed at 6. I had a quick shower, grabbed my little table, and I took this along, Swiss Gold Global, just rolled it up, and then started talking. Do you want to know about Bitcoin? at 7 o'clock in the morning, and about 1 in 10 people that walked past showed a little bit of interest, and the ones who came over were quite diversified in how they talked about Bitcoin. Not many knew about mining. They sort of heard about it. They heard about Ethereum and a few of the other top coins. They didn't really understand the blockchain and how that sort of worked. They certainly heard about the price of Bitcoin, but how it worked as a currency and outside the banking system, they weren't quite sure on the details. And one thing that had come through, and maybe a lot of people watching here tonight or wherever you are in the morning or afternoon, would have spoken to people and said, yes, I've got that many emails about Bitcoin, I'm sick of it. And I had to explain to these people that the Bitcoin itself as a currency, a digital currency, is sound and solid and structured and everything. It's the companies who tell you can triple your Bitcoin in 21 days and double your Bitcoin in a month, and all these other offshoots of people who involved in, and it must be said, they must be attached to an email list of some company, maybe a share company or a portfolio or some group they've joined to find out about money, and they've offered their email address. Well, they're getting bombarded with emails. Even a friend of mine who comes, we do a workout, physical workout 3 days a week. He's not involved in cryptocurrency, but he joined one particular site, gave his email. Now he gets about 6 emails a day from various other companies telling him he can do this and put this in there and give us $250. So there's a lot of that around that people are getting a little bit disillusioned with. And that's maybe part of our job, Paul, and not so much yours, Bill, but ours as affiliates and members, to, when people start asking questions, we clarify what Bitcoin is, what the blockchain is, how they can just passively buy contracts in computer power and slowly build their generational wealth over time. And I've been in sort of 7.5, nearly 8 months, I suppose, and I'm just getting to the stage, just at this very, very short stage of having a regular income coming into my CoinJar wallet here in Australia. I get the email every day. Get this email, like my sticker on the back there. I get an email every day from CoinJar who have received Bitcoin, and I recognize the wallet addresses from Swiss Gold Global that I put in there. So I know every day I'm just getting paid. And if Genesis Mining do miss a day of payments, then they're made up within the next week. And that's a great thing that we've come to know about Swiss Gold Global and Genesis, that the transparency of you, Bill and Claudia, and your videos with the owners of Genesis Mining. Some of them are a little bit camera shy, but and you've gone to their facilities, so and information that you've given us with them and at their facilities has really come home, and it makes a big difference, Bill, to new people signing up. Have you noticed the feedback at all from members that new people really appreciate the openness of yourself and especially Genesis?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're talking about integrity here, aren't we? I mean, there's many of these companies out there that promise the world, but you don't even know who's behind the company. I mean, really, you've got no idea who's the Joe Blow behind the company. There's no name, there's no face. And, there's an old saying, as you know, Paul certainly knows this as well. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is in that respect. And when you don't have the face behind the company, you don't know this and don't know that. It's another issue. You actually mentioned before we're aligned with Genesis Mining, $1 billion company. Well, I mean that is a major thing. I mean, that is a major deal to be aligned with $1 billion company. And on top of that, we're a gold and silver company as well. We're a licensed precious metal trader. I am in Dubai. In fact, in the morning, an hour from now, I'll be flying a 15-hour direct flight from LA directly to Dubai, spending a bit of time there before I head back to Europe. So we have all those assets there, which is all for diversification, which is really, really, really important. The thing about the digital world, it really creates an environment where scammers can come in, because you're talking about a digital asset. We're not sending you, people aren't sending you anything in one sense, but they can promise the world, and as long as there's more money coming in than going out, they can keep the Ponzi scheme alive until sometimes it actually just implodes and becomes not sustainable. So, and that's really what happens in scams, doesn't it? They only have a limited life. So few people will make some money and the masses will probably miss out. That's just the way it actually is. With us, there is issues at times with the payouts, but this is primarily caused because there's just so much demand on the Bitcoin blockchain, on the mempool, the backup there. You're talking billions upon billions of dollars worth of transactions. So when Genesis mining, there's a couple of things that can actually happen. First of all, to make it very, very clear, it does not affect your mining. It does not affect the payout reward amount, the Bitcoin or the Ethereum, whatever it might be. What it does affect is when it's getting pushed to your wallet, because they might push their report there. You've got to remember they have themselves over 1.5 million, I think it's 1.4 million members themselves. So you can imagine that database to support that. And then we have our database on top of that, and they're probably providing others as well. So what happens at times is when they push these payments out, and it's not like it's clockwork, like at 10 a.m. each day, it's just going to happen that these payouts going to happen to your wallet. Talking to Dr. Marco String, the co-founder of Genesis, it's a very complex process. First of all, the transactions have to be accepted on the blockchain first, and once they're in the blockchain, that they get backed up in the mempool. So sometimes we can see them coming through, and we can see a transaction link there, and it's very transparent. You'll see it there. You'll click on it, and you'll see your payout there, and it's all very, very clear. It's all correct. Sometimes you click on it, and it'll say you can't find your transaction. So this is a bit concerning at times, and this is what's happening is that this is primarily a backlog in the Bitcoin protocol. Now that sometimes it can take up to 72 hours for it to be accepted. Now if it isn't accepted after 72 hours, it means that Genesis have to go back and resubmit it until that until the payout reports of your mined Bitcoins or whatever algorithm you have or crypto you have is actually accepted on the blockchain. So this happens from time to time. It seems to be better, but it happens, and sometimes it can take weeks even to get these transactions clear. But one thing I'll make very, very, very clear is that we are not going to skip on anyone's payments. I mean, these things have happened in the past, and we've made it very, very clear. Genesis have also made it very, very clear. They'll just have to be patient with us because, I mean, with 1.4 million members, you can imagine when something like that, the amount of tickets that you get, the amount of tickets that we get. But there's a process for it to get corrected, and it'll eventually will be pushed back. I mean, the auditors go through the system, and it's a lot of work. But if someone's payout missing on a certain day or here, it is always corrected. Now, if it's not corrected, always give it probably a few days to a week. And if you find that you haven't got one there, do send an email in very, very clearly with the date that's actually missing. Be very, very, very clear and send that through so we can get that checked up on. But primarily, if it happens to one, it's happened to probably a handful of people, and we're probably already onto it in that respect. But give us the feedback, but be patient with us as well. The other thing I want to touch on just as well while we're talking about this is that when you're there's also lots of issues when it comes to paying with Bitcoin, especially from Coinbase at the moment. We're experiencing lots of challenges where people are getting timed out on the transaction. That's causing frustration. People paying for the memberships, people paying for gold and silver, people wanting to pay for their mining packages and they're using Bitcoin to pay for it. And they've had to do it multiple times, but the Bitcoin protocol, the transaction platform, which is not us, it's actually like a payment gateway, like a credit card gateway, except this time it's a Bitcoin payment gateway. They get timed out. Now there's primarily two transaction areas where you can get timed out, where your wallet has been debited, but us as the company don't get what's been debited. So it's like, therefore, if we don't get what's being debited from your wallet, you don't get your product. But from your side, you see that the Bitcoin has been taken out. So you look at us and say, okay, Swiss Gold Global has taken our Bitcoin, but we don't have any product. This is what people think. The truth of the matter is there's two transaction errors that actually happen in this protocol. One of them is called insufficient, because when you do a Bitcoin transaction, it's locked in against the US dollar for a certain time frame. And because there's so much demand, there's so much activity on there and servers and all these other variables that can go on, sometimes when the transaction goes through, it may go through and the Bitcoin amount may be insufficient to the US dollar amount at that given time, or can be paid, what they say, paid after timeout, which means on those two instances, your Bitcoin wallet is actually debited. You'll see Bitcoins come out of your wallet. It goes to the Bitcoin payment gateway, but we have zero. We don't have anything. So what actually happens then, we like to actually, you should get an email, automated email, and what you do is you put in your Bitcoin wallet address there, and that would be automatically refunded back to you. But if not, you'd have to email us with a transaction ID. Now, just on this is really an important point as well, because it saves a lot of time and support. When you're sending us through transaction IDs, you can send a screenshot, but also send a copy and paste text format of the transaction ID as well, because we can't copy and paste a screenshot into the search engines of course, a payment gateway to search the transaction. And if anyone there's ever tried to type in a hash code from a Bitcoin transaction or transaction ID, it's pretty damn long, which is what it's designed to be, of course. So we don't like, it's open to too much human error. So always, just a tip, always include a copy and paste of your text formatted transaction ID as well. So these are the things, the variables that can actually happen when you're talking about high volume turnovers in this particular space, because it is the hot sector. I mean, I traded back in the 1990s a bit when I was in my hotels, and I did a great program. There's a great futures trader up in Queensland called David Bowden. You might have heard of David Bowden. I'm not too sure. Bit of a legend, actually. Also has about 50 race cars collections. Got one of the largest race car collections himself, just north of Brisbane there. And but anyway, he had a psychologist at that particular event named Dr. Harry Stenton, I think it was, if I remember correctly. And we spoke about the emotions of trading and different things. And you know, the trend is your friend. There's no question about it. You are in the right trend right now. The crypto sector is the hottest trend, and when it's moving. When it's bullish, that is the time to be in. Now, things can change rapidly, but right now you are in the right sector. Now, I posted up on Facebook a little bit earlier on an article from, actually, there's a free ebook there, actually. I encourage everyone to read it. It's from Dr. Steve Torbin. Now, I met Steve Torbin at a network marketing event. I met him at the Association of Network Marketing Professionals, the Association Network Marketing Professionals event in Dallas some years back. Now, he's a hypnotist, he's a therapist, and I can tell you, Keithy and Paul, what this guy did, there's about 800 people in the room, just to give a bit of a story, and he said to the people, who would like to be hypnotized? Well, I knew I didn't want to be, but I wanted to see what the result was, straight up. So I went up to the front, but he hypnotized about 20 out of 30 people, and he had grown men pretending they were ballerinas, and you know, and then he'd say, he said, when he tap you on the shoulder, Keith, and say, now when I tap you on the shoulder, you're going to forget the number 8. You will not remember number 8. And then he comes up to you and says, okay. You speak to him, you say, hi, Keith, and you say, hi, and blah, blah, blah. And you said, how many fingers do you have, Keith? And Keith says, 10. Well, count them for me. And you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. And then you look at him, the person couldn't remember number 8. And what I'm speaking about this for is, it's the power of the subconscious mind, because we're dealing in an area right now. And I remember this from the 1990s very clearly. Fear and greed. We're talking about the emotions of making money here. It's probably the biggest emotion that we actually have in one sense, and people can do some foolish things on that. And I really wanted to make sure that our members take care of themselves and have maturity regarding this as well, because when things are really bullish, and I mean, anyone can make money. Any idiot can make money in a bull market. You know, I'm not trying to say that I'm an Einstein because we're in this at the right time. You will make money if you're following the trend in the right time. There's no question about that. It makes us feel good. But when the market turns, we have to also know how to handle that, don't we? So I had a call with Dr. Steve Torbin the other day, the hypnotist, and I believe in the new year he's going to do a couple of webcasts with us, preparing our members around the world, which is pretty awesome to understand this emotion of fear. Because if you can manage your emotions, you will manage your wealth. You'll make better decisions. And because I've just been around this for a long time, I know everyone loves us now because we're all making money, but I also know when that changes a little bit, they're going to hate me and want to hang me up by the noose. So I'm aware of that as well. I've been around people long enough for many, many years in business now to know that's how it primarily works. So, and I'm speaking about this because, you know, it's very, very exciting where we are. There's people making lots of money out there right now, and people might think, well, I'll put my whole house onto this. Maybe this is a big deal that's going to set me free. Well, we don't want you to do that. I always say, don't put money into this that you cannot afford. And if you're smart, you'll do what Paul's doing, you'll do what Keith is doing, you'll do what Claudia's doing, and many other members around the world. you will actually get into a package and you'll start sharing, understand what you have here, and you'll share it with other people. And through sharing, you're actually compounding your time. You're actually earning free hash power. When you earn free hash power, you're actually compounding your daily paycheck. That is it. It's a cool way. It's a safe way. Now, it all depends on where you are, but I like to speak about this to be very, very transparent, because we are in a disruptive technology. You know, it's amazing what we have here, but no one knows where it's going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. I think 2018 is going to be fantastic. I think it's going to be volatile. There's no question about that. We're going to have these 20% swings, may even come back 50%. That's quite possible. It's pretty normal in such sort of things. But be prepared for that, you know. And I just want people to really embrace what we're offering you here. Do it with maturity, do it with thought, do it with money management risk, because that's the best thing that you can do. Never have a plan. But most importantly, learn what you've got and share it, because when you're sharing it, you're picking up free hash power. So I just wanted to touch on that too, gents.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. That's it. You always got to be aware of where you are exactly at this point in time. Have the confidence in the people around you. All good companies and programs need good leaders at the top. There's no question that yourself, Bill, and Claudia are shining. And you just hit the nail on the head right then, whether you realise or not. You come out with these one-liners or two-liners, and you didn't realise what you're saying. You've been in business, successful business, for a long, long time. And, you know, you started Swiss Gold Global in 2008. Prior to that, you're in successful business. And prior to that, you're in successful hotel industry business as well. So the runs are on the board, to quote a cricketing terminology, that your experience is all brought into the running of Swiss Gold Global and how you operate it as a business. And the experience you have, you want to pass on to everybody. I learn lots of things off you and Claudia on a weekly basis, just the way you speak about the business. So for new people joining, the bottom line is, and everybody watching this here, there's about 20 odd people watching live. There'll be hundreds watching this when we all share this to our timeline, that we've all been or all are in various online industry businesses. We're trying to make money online and get away from the 9 to 5 bricks and mortar type of work that have all been put into, thrust into, driven into through no choice of our own, or we've chosen a career path that hasn't worked out, and we've all of a sudden or progressively looked for an opportunity or an alternative to earn part-time passive income. And we've come across companies and individuals who are running companies who are less than honest, who are less than knowledgeable about the actual industry they're in, have no idea how to run an online business. They failed numerous times and just keep trying the same. They never learn from their mistakes. They keep repeating the same mistakes over and over again and offer the same thing, which is not up to date, not technically advanced, not easy for new people to understand when they join. So all these things we've all been through, and it's very refreshing and reassuring and energizing to find a company like Swiss Gold Global. I know I'm giving you a bit of a big pat on the back, Bill, but this time of the year when we're all going to gather around with family and friends and think about what's happened in 2017. Some it's been a volatile year, some it's been a restart, some it's a restart over again and over again. And they may have had 2 or 3 ups and downs during the year. Some may have just joined 6 or 9 months ago and are just finding a new energy level that they've never had or haven't had for a number of years. And we're screaming towards the end of 2017. And it's good to hear from the owner of the business what's going to happen in 2018. There's confidential information that can't be told to you, but I can tell you right now that 2018 for members of Swiss Gold Global is just going to be exceptional with what's coming up that Bill and the rest of the management crew have lined up. The relationship has been cemented with Genesis Mining. To me, that's just one right out the box that we're in a fantastic, very close relationship with Genesis Mining, $1 billion company. Now, not many people around the world in our industry, the online, let alone online marketing space, let alone the cryptocurrency space, can say that you're in partnership or in an agreement with fantastic billion-dollar company who have got so many plans, have been inundated with business coming towards them, that they're in a firm agreement with us. Paul, your thoughts just to finish off? It's about 1:45. I want to finish off by letting Bill have the last say, but you know, you've been around a number of businesses over the years. I've been involved with a couple with you. We've started and put our heart and soul into these businesses, and then through no fault of our own, they've ended through the owners of the company or the board of directors or whoever's running the business and made either a financial mistake or a personal mistake. So to come into a business like Swiss Gold Global with the open style management, the partnership with Genesis Mining, your feelings on 2017, how you feel, and what feedback you've got from your team as well, mate.
Yeah, being in, I guess we still get dragged away in different tangents, and that's why it's really good to have these Monday night hangouts where we come back and look at Swiss Gold Global and reality. And probably tonight, well, I guess probably in the last 3 hangouts, we've actually seen that Swiss Gold Global is really the business to be in, the mining business. I've seen a lot of information out on Facebook pages saying mining is where you want to be in the future. And then you go off on your tangent again and think, oh, no, I'll come back again and we'll have a look at Swiss Gold Global again. So from what Bill has relayed to us tonight, for what's going to happen in 2018, stay away from all the hype of the scams of all the other, not so much scams, but you do go off on a tangent. Stick with the business that you know. I guess that's where we come back to.
Very good point, mate. It's SOS, as we keep talking about, shiny object syndrome that people see. There's so many posts now, and it was a classic example. What I did yesterday was just a complete social experiment. Happy to pay the $33 for the 3 metre by 3 metre piece of concrete. There was no shade or anything. I had my hat on. I didn't want to get my hairstyle ruined under the sun, the hot Australian sun. But people were just walking past, and the negativity of being emailed by people trying to promote Bitcoin to them in the wrong way. They didn't know them. It was just an email kept flooding their inbox. Yet when I talked to a few people and explained to them and gave them an understanding about what Bitcoin is and blockchain and how it was, and I showed them my FPOS card, my local card that I use to use Bitcoin locally, they gained a bit of a more calmer understanding, and they sort of relaxed a bit and were open to information. And I said, well, just have a look at this video here, have a look at this website. They saw the banner there, a few people taking photos of it. The information that we pass out to people will be invaluable for them to understand mining and get people away from these other businesses that are trying to give us your money and we'll triple it for you in 30 days. And like Bill said, you don't know who they are. They're just behind an email or behind a website with no, I'm the owner of the company and here's me on video standing inside the Iceland mining farm of our partner Genesis Mining. There's none of that. So people often get dragged away, as you rightly say, Paul. They get dragged away by the bright lights and the flashy website promising something that is in reality not going to happen. Whereas we a little bit slow in building your business with Swiss Gold Global. You buy mining contracts and either one of the coins that are available, and you slowly build your hash power, you build your computer power. If you happen to talk to someone and as a free customer, you get 2.5% commission in computer power added to yours. So you get paid a little bit more every day in Bitcoin or Ethereum, whatever you like. It's a slow process, but that slow process need only take a year of effort. And then if you want to go into an affiliate level, there's another income stream where you can earn US dollars and buy more hash power from your commissions in the affiliate level above. So I haven't even got to a year yet. And that's the exciting part for me and Paul, that we know we haven't even got 12 months into this business. We chat with the owner. Well, I do every week. Have them on live every 2 to 3 weeks. Have Claudia She's could be anywhere in the world and say, yeah, I'll come on, I'll come on. That's the openness of this company that people really are looking for. But a lot of people haven't found that yet. But once they do, then they become huge Swiss Gold Global fans. And we all help each other to improve our own lives. So I know it's a bit of a sort of a pat on the back fest, Bill, but it has to be said, you need to hear it from us as members that what you're doing, we appreciate. The information you give us is valuable. It's straight to the point. As I say, you don't muck around. You come from the hotel industry. You know, if there's people had too much to drink, you say, right, time's up, you're off, you're out.
They spill red wine on people, Keithy.
Oh, don't bring that up. That's all right, hands up. I spilt red wine on Claudia's white dress after our meeting. I wasn't even drinking the red wine, so it wasn't even mine, but hands up. But straight away, she didn't panic. She said, give me all the salt from the containers, and started pouring that over and rubbing into the dress to stop the red wine staining. It worked a miracle. So she was unflappable in that point, in that moment of half a glass of red wine being tipped on her by some old Kiwi bloke. She didn't lose the plot. She remained calm and focused. And that's what you guys do. That sums you, not the red wine, but the business that you operate, Bill, and with Claudia's help, that you remain unflappable in a volatile market. You give us the right information. You have a great partnership, and you're open and transparent with us, but they're also open and transparent with you. So how could we not be excited about 2018, Bill?
Well, in truth, regarding that situation, Keithy, she probably wanted to gouge her eyes out, but she couldn't because there's too many people around there. So no, I'm just joking. Yeah, you know, Paul has the opportunity of playing golf, you know, which is fantastic. But to be able to do that, the man has worked probably 40 years, 50 hours a week, minimum probably for 40 years, to have that privilege to go and play golf when he wants to actually do it. Would that be right, Paul?
This is what me to do, and a number of other people of my age group. That's right.
You've worked your butt off for a long time, so we can sit back and if we can see you there, we crack a bit of a joke if you're out in the golf course having a bit of a hit. But of course, you've had 4 decades of working to have the freedom to be able to do that. But when you take out your savings to put it into something, that's a big deal. Because you don't have any. I mean, you're on your retirement plan or your pension, whatever it might be. That's a big deal. You cannot afford to lose you can't afford to lose what savings you put aside. You've got inflation, the effects of inflation, everything else. Because when I was back in Australia, I can tell you one thing for sure: it's not getting cheaper to live there. I mean, I haven't lived there for 14 years. It's probably threefold the price of the cost of living since I actually lived there. I lived in an affluent suburb of Melbourne, in Brighton. And I look at housing prices there, look at food prices. I mean, took my nephew for a hamburger in Brighton. It was, I think I have a vegetarian one. It was $28. I think his was $34. You know, this was for a hamburger in Brighton, Melbourne. I thought, wow, who can afford this sort of stuff? But it wasn't like that when I left 14 years ago. So the point I'm making with you people out there, so I know we have a mixed age group there, it's important to do your due diligence. You're going to get hit on. I love the concept SOS, shiny object syndrome, because that's truly, what goes on. And I'm not going to tell you where you should put your money. It's your own money. It's your right to be able to put it where you want to put it, and I have no problem with that. But do your due diligence. Don't even take my word for it. Look at us. Do your due diligence about us. Question Keithy, question Paul. This is really important, because then you can actually own what you have, because it's all about responsibility. There's no point in putting a buck into something and then if it fails, bitching about it and complaining about it, that it didn't work out, because in essence, you didn't do your due diligence. Now, we as a company, we're not perfect, but we have a lot of great things and it's working for. We're transparent. We have great, we're licensed gold and silver traders. We have our partnership with Genesis Mining. It's paying out exceptionally well. We've got the new mining contracts going live in February and also in March. But we also, we are exposed to risk, and that is regulatory risk. Regulators around the world could change things any particular time. So nothing is bulletproof in that sense. So people need to understand that. But I think the most important thing is that you're putting your money into something. Ask questions, because I know I've met too many people around the world who have put their money into things which to be quite honest, you just know it's not going to be sustainable. Okay, you may have got your first fast track bonus and you've made a few dollars yourself, but someone down the road is going to get burnt big time, and that's what happens, of course. And I think the leadership that you guys offer, and Claudia offers, and the other leaders around the world, whether we go to, you know, Valentine in Canada, in the US, or even many of them actually, is absolutely outstanding, because you're there and you're offering guidance, you're offering support, because cryptocurrency is a bit of a complex subject, isn't it? It's not the easiest thing to get into. You know, it's a little bit more difficult. I mean, in your things you used to be involved with, I think these rev shares, it was easy. You click a button or something, they're going to pay you 1.5% per day. It's a no-brainer, and anyone could do that. A monkey could do that in one sense, of course. In one sense, a monkey can do ours as well, of course, and it's a real deal when it comes to mining. As Kiwi says, you know, the only thing you got to do is buy it, and after that, you don't have to do anything. It'll just pay, and it pays out very, very well. But it's open to fluctuations and changes. But 2018, where Genesis is heading, there's tens upon tens of millions of dollars being invested in new mining farms and equipment, which also leads me to the situation. Here we are partnered with the largest mining farm in the world, the Transparent. When they don't have mining, they say we don't have mining. They just say it straight out. We don't have mining. But here we have companies around the world still selling mining, supposedly selling Bitcoin mining. Now, we're dealing with a company that has all the contacts in China. They get first access to everything that comes to the marketplace, they pretty much buy it up. So I'm always surprised when I see these companies pop up and say, we have Bitcoin mining, you can buy a contract for this, you can buy a contract for that, we can do this and do that. My question is really, do they have the mining? You'd never see their mining farm. They're not transparent on these sorts of things. So are they just doing another Bernie Madoff? I'm not too sure. My feeling is it possibly could be. I don't know. But these are the questions you have to be asking yourself. I mean, I've been to the mining farms, and I'll be going to the Sweden farm in the new year. I really look forward to that as well. And I love it that I can sit with the owners of the mining farms. I can eyeball them, ask them direct questions, and they can tell me yay or nay, and I know where I stand with them. And just, you know, and most importantly, if they don't have something, they'll tell me that they don't have it. They just don't want to sell, which I think is really, really, really important, because they don't need to. They're big enough as they are right now. But we're also privileged that they allow us. You know, we're obviously a lot smaller than what they are at the moment, but they give us the privilege to service our members around the world rather than serving their own members is a big deal. But that's also a great opportunity for you people to share their message, because you buy a contract, you're getting it from the biggest and the most transparent company in the world, which is a great leverage for you to be able to build your team as well. So 2018 is going to be, you know, we're going to come out of the gate. We've got a lot of planning to do. As I said, we're going to lose a month right now over this festive period. But March, I can see lots of things breaking out, and it's really going to kick on and benefit our members and our affiliates around the world. So I'm exceptionally excited about it. I'm really looking forward to it. I look forward to getting back to Australia, probably around about, my plan is probably March or April, I would say.
Okay. All right, Bill. One question's come through, and that's the minimum payout has gone up from Bitcoin 0020 to 0025. That happened a few days ago. Now, I'm guessing that's because to minimise the amount of fees paid for multiple transactions. That's a Genesis thing that they've made that move. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes. Primarily, yeah. I mean, this is why there's so many moving parts out there, Paul, us and Keithy in that respect. For example, let's go back to Zappo. We all know Zappo, the Zappo company, for example. They increased their fees maybe 2 months ago, I suppose, on a minimum up to a certain threshold. You know, the minimum fee for amount of Bitcoin pushed onto the wallet was quite significant. So if you had a small contract with Bitcoin or something like that, and you're only getting small payouts, they will primarily take a significant amount of your mining payout reward, which is not good. So to overcome that, we actually advised them, and I'll actually advise Dr. Marco String, let's increase it. And they said, well, let's take it up to 0.2. They did that. Now, I don't know which wallet out there providers moved it again, but because there's so much demand, of course, what they're doing is they're moving the threshold up. Why do they do that? Well, miners in these companies, that's how they earn their money, from fees, of course. and but we want to protect our people's money as much as possible. So the idea of being able to increase that means that we're going to minimise your fees. I think it's 2.25. That only happened a few days ago. Few days ago, Keithy. But our other thing that's on the drawing board, which I know all of you all want to have, is that you'll have the. And this will be the first. I would say the first quarter of 2018 is that you can select a box and say, I want to actually roll over my Bitcoin mining contracts. I don't want to get paid out in Bitcoin. Just give me extra hash power. That would mean that you'd alleviate fees straight away. We can't do that on our side because we don't own your Bitcoin, correct? It gets paid directly into your wallet. So this is something that's got to be engineered in conjunction with us on the Genesis side. Now, I've already spoken to them about this, actually going back about a month ago, and they're onto it. Okay, so this is really what we want to do. That you'll have the ability to be able to say, yes, I want to get paid out into my wallet. No, I don't want to get paid out. I want to actually just turn it directly straight back into more mining hash power. And that will be a benefit for people, especially in the smaller contracts, until they build up to get some good hash power, to get those daily payouts at a good level. So we're working on that as well.
So Genesis, they have the regulatory ability to do that. So they're creating their, what's the terminology? They get to create their own e-wallet?
Well, they don't promote it that much, but I know I can probably share this. If I don't, I'll just have to ask for forgiveness, won't I? You know, they've been working for a couple of years on getting an e-money license. Now Zappo does not even have an e-money license. Okay, Genesis Mining has an e-money license. They have the highest tier e-money license issued from the United Kingdom, London. Okay, which is when it comes to financial services, is probably it's one of the greatest in the world, other than New York, of course. So they actually have that. Now, just to give you an idea what that means, it was 2 years in the making. They had to put down £2 million deposit as guarantor.
Ooh.
Just a guarantor. £2 million guarantor just to get this e-money license. Okay. Then on top of that, you've got your legal fees, 2 years of legal fees. So that is a huge, huge investment. Now, no other company in this space has that. They have it. Now, having the certificate is one thing. Having the platform to be able to push out products on top of that is a different thing. I mean, obviously Coinbase, these companies now are regulated. The ones that aren't regulated are going to drop off the perch in time, because the regulators are going to come after all these things. So Genesis is aware of that. That's why they're ahead of the game. So they've been pretty quiet in that space, but that means that they can do many things. They can do payment gateways, they can do wallets, they can do all these other things that we haven't been able to see. But there's huge development associated with that. Having the license is one thing. Developing the platform to build those tools to be on that license is another thing. Now, they have so much happening at the moment. They're behind on their resources, of course, because they're busy on the mining and all other areas. But this, I believe, will come out in 2018, which is very exciting, and we'll get all the benefits. Being supported by Genesis, we'll get all the benefits from that as well, I expect.
Yeah, that's fantastic news. It's an evolving, developing relationship we have, but it's all positive. So everyone watching tonight, there will be adjustments, little bumps in the road, but if you've ever had any doubts, you've got the owner to listen to. You can listen to the steeliness in his voice, the enthusiasm and the way he speaks. Claudia's, the amount of live webinars that you have access to during the week, that must do 2 live webinars minimum a week. Bill, Claudia does a couple as well. They're all available for members to listen to and to learn from. We have the back office of the Swiss Gold Global for the education section there, and you even the high profile people that have given their time to our business for knowledge in the back office is unprecedented, what we have in the back office there, and it's all for our members to use. Just start, and so take comfort for a fantastic 2017 crypto space, and look forward to 2018. That's just over the hour we've done. Claudia's probably I'll get on. No, well, we're going to have a break for 2 weeks for Swiss Gold Global Australia live hangouts, being the holiday season here. So I hope your holidays, Paul, are relaxing, and you don't strain your back or your forearm with the the golf club too much, mate, and you don't get trapped in the sand too much, mate.
Yeah, thanks very much, Keith. All those good things. I'll hit it straight down the centre, son, and put it on the green, and you'll see me on the circuit next year, and I'll be holding a banner up with Swiss Gold Global on it. There you go. Yeah. The seniors circuit.
Yeah.
All right. Good night, Bill.
He'll probably strain his elbow from a 4X swing.
Yeah, that's that's it.
Thanks a lot, Bill.
Bill, always a pleasure to have you on. We'll get you on live next year when we come back doing our live hangouts. You can always catch up with Bill doing the hangouts he does during the week. Hope you have at least a couple of days rest as best you can, mate. I know you've got more frequent flyer points than I've had hot dinners, the way you zoom around the world. For us as members, you're building your business, and we're part of that, and we really appreciate the effort you put in. So I hope you have a restful time if you possibly can, and appreciate your time tonight, mate.
Well, I really appreciate you guys very, very much, the leadership and all our members from around the world. And yeah, it's got to make hay while the sun's shining. So I'm around. If you want to do a catch-up, hang-up in between Christmas and the New Year, Paul, Keithy, I'll be around. Just reach out to me, okay? I'll be in a better time zone than where I am now.
Yeah, okay. All right, folks. Thank you very much for watching again to our hangout.
New Year, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Have a great Christmas break, New Year, and 2018. It is going to be awesome. With confidence, Swiss Gold Global and our partnership with Genesis Mining is a united, strong bond, and we're in the prime position. So have a fantastic night. Have a great week. Enjoy your time off if you have some with your family and friends, and really get pumped for 2018. All right, see you folks on the next one. Take it easy. Bye-bye.